Hey everybody, hey, it's Charlie time. Hey, I've decided to start this channel and I want to talk about something. I'm on a walk right now. I'm in Montpelier. I'm going to head to the State House. Anyway, so what I want to talk about is something I saw today. I'm going to choose, most of these things are going to be about music, things I love about music, albums I love. I want to talk about a YouTube video I saw today, and what it was by a person I really like, really wonderful guitar player, performer, and YouTube person, really famous, I think. Anyway, so his name is Rhett Shull. So he did a video that I saw today where he's talking about CDs. He's talking about physical media, and he goes on in there, and it's good stuff, but he goes on in there and he talks about how he was part of physical media and how he remembers albums and buying albums and CDs. Now, I can say I know he bought CDs, right? But albums. Now let's talk about that, because I am 59 years old, and I have been through all forms of media. I was there for all of it. I don't go as back as far as 78, but anyway, so for me, I owned brand new 8-tracks. I owned records. I bought records. Cassettes were big in my time. Remember, I'm 59. And CDs. CDs were huge. I still have probably 500 or 600 CDs. I've kept them all. Anyway, so Rhett Shull is talking how he was part of this time. Now, I looked him up. I believe he was born in 1990. Now, let's go back to 1990, because I can do that. 1990 was the time just before I started doing local theater in Vermont, doing lots of shows. In fact, 1991 is when I did my first theatrical show. Nothing huge and famous, just local theater in central Vermont. And anyway, so back to the music and physical media. Now, so he was born in 1990, right? So let's see. Now, I remember 1990, and then specifically, let's go to 1994, right? So he's 4 years old, right? And listen, hi, listen. So he's 4 years old, okay? And he's talking about he remembers vinyl. He doesn't remember vinyl. He may remember vinyl, buying it by the time it was dying out, okay? That's what he remembers. And he certainly remembers CDs. CDs. Now, in 1994, all right, I started at a local company, locally owned, bless his heart, John Ormsby's TV and Appliance. And I sold hi-fi equipment for 25 years, all right? And during that time, we sold turntables, but they had already died off. I can remember for those 25 years selling maybe 1 or 2 turntables, all right? And there weren't many available. By the mid-90s, they stopped making them, all right? The famous companies, Sony, Onkyo, those are some of the big brands I sold, and they stopped. Records weren't selling. Records died off. CDs took off. Now, please, and I want to stress this in the biggest way I can, okay? Please, younger folks, talking about Rhett Shull, and even younger folks, please stop saying you're from my time. I was a teenager in the 1980s, all right? Physical media was what we did. And I agree with him. I agree with him about supporting the artists and that they're not getting paid what they're worth from Spotify and from other streaming services. I totally agree with him on that. So I want you to go out and support your local artists. I try to whenever I can. I collect records. I love my records, but I still stream. Please stop taking my time that I lived and saying it's yours. That's the other thing. So I go out and see a lot of local bands, and there's a lot of local bands here in Vermont that play rock music, mostly from hair metal bands from my time, okay? And I'm there, and most people are younger than me, not all of them, but they all know all the words to my music, and they claim it's theirs. It's not theirs, okay? If you disagree with me, I understand. Please stop saying yours is my music. I don't understand fully why we don't have people with their own music and their time. I guess it's so there's no common thing. Like so when let's go back. So when the Police released Synchronicity, their album, everybody listened to it. We went out and bought it. You know, I was a huge Police fan. I bought all their albums. But many of my friends who weren't Police fans, they went out and bought the Synchronicity album. Great record. Go and listen to it. Today, it would be a hit today. Anyway, so what we did to find music, I'm going to tell you what we did. And I did it with cassettes, all right? And I think many of people my age will remember doing this and how fun it was. I mean, and it was work. You had to learn to find your music. And you did that on the radio, all right? So what I would do is I would turn on Casey Kasem and listen to the top 40 as he announced it. And I would have my stereo set up, or as of that time, it probably was my dad's stereo with a cassette deck. And as the song would start, I would hit record and record it. And I'd make this huge mixtape of the songs that I liked. Now, granted, I missed a little bit of the beginning of the songs. But that way I had it. I had those songs. And I listened to them. And so did all my friends. We all listened to the same stuff. Right? And that's how we all had this togetherness. And that's what's missing today. So, hey, Rhett Shull, you probably won't see this. But if you do, I want you to know I love your videos. I love your energy. But I don't agree with you on your time frame. All right? And I get you were a music hound. Right? But, dude, you were a teeny tiny kid when records were still being sold. Now let's talk about records. So, records died. All right? People completely stopped buying them. Once CDs hit hard, records were done. I mean, a CD sounds better. It just does. Now, we can talk about how warm the album sounds, and great. I have probably 2,000 records. I listen to them regularly, and I enjoy them. But, you know, a CD, if I have the CD, I'm going to put it on, you know. So, hey, Rhett Shull, don't take my time, please, and my other friends' time. We're older, but hey, we lived through that all, and we enjoyed it. Please don't try to take it from us. Bye.